Her private chat screenshots reveal she's been cheating behind my back. She said it was just friendship. I remember sitting there, her phone glowing in my hand, my thumb scrolling through message after message while my chest tightened like a vice. My heart wasn't even pounding. It was worse than that. It was still, quiet, numb. Her words filled the screen in little blue bubbles. Inside jokes, flirty lines, pet names. I read the word baby at least 6 times before it fully hit me that it wasn't addressed to me. The timestamp said 12:47 a.m., the same night she told me she was exhausted and going to bed early. When I looked up, she was standing in the doorway, wrapped in a towel, hair dripping from the shower. Her face changed instantly. First confusion, then fear, then that defensive tilt of her chin I'd seen 100 times before whenever she knew she'd been caught. "What are you doing with my phone?" she demanded, stepping closer. I held up the screen, reading what my girlfriend really does when she's just talking to a friend. Her eyes darted to the phone. "Oh my God, you went through my messages. That's all you've got to say?" I asked. My voice cracked halfway through. "Not that you've been lying to me for months." She crossed her arms. "It's not what you think, Adam. He's just a friend. We talk about stuff. You've been distant lately." "Don't do that," I said, shaking my head. "Don't turn this around. You call him baby. You send him hearts. You tell him you miss him." I laughed bitterly. "Do you say that to all your friends?" She sighed, running a hand through her wet hair. "You're overreacting." That's when I felt something snap in me. Overreacting. I'd heard that word before. It was what she said when I caught her deleting texts from her ex last year. What she said when I asked about her late nights, working on group projects. It was her go-to shield whenever she needed to make me doubt my own eyes. We'd been together for almost 4 years. Met in university, moved in together after graduation, built what I thought was a stable, happy life. I worked as a systems analyst at a local firm. She was a marketing coordinator for a fashion startup. We had routines, inside jokes, shared Spotify playlists. She was my best friend. Or at least, I thought she was. The first red flag showed up about 6 months ago. She started talking about this guy from work, Ethan. "He's cool," she'd say casually. "He's got such a weird sense of humor." I didn't think much of it at first. I trusted her. I've never been the jealous type. But then she started texting him all the time. During dinner. While we were watching TV. Even in bed. When I asked her about it, she smiled and said, "Relax. He's just helping me with a campaign." I believed her. God, I wanted to believe her. Then she started dressing differently. Nicer clothes for work. New perfume. More makeup. Again, I didn't question it right away. I told myself she was just putting more effort into her job. But one night, around midnight, she got a notification while her phone was charging next to me on the couch. I glanced at it without meaning to, just a habit. It was from Ethan. It said, "Thinking about you again. Can't sleep." I remember that moment so vividly. My stomach turned cold, and my mind started racing. I didn't open the message, didn't confront her that night. I just sat there, staring at that little preview until it faded from the screen. Over the next few weeks, I tried to act normal, but things kept piling up. Her laughter while texting, the way she locked her phone whenever I walked by, the sudden girls' nights that didn't line up with any friends I knew. And then last week, she accidentally left her phone on the counter when she went to shower. It buzzed, and I made a choice I'd never thought I'd make. I opened it. The messages were all there. Dozens of them. She'd changed his name to Emily, work, in her contacts. Probably thought she was clever. They weren't sexting exactly, but they didn't have to be. The emotional intimacy was worse. She told him about our fights, about my insecurities, about how he used to make me feel special, but now it's just routine. She said she felt alive talking to him. Then I saw one message that shattered everything. "Last night was amazing. I can't stop thinking about it." My throat went dry. I scrolled up. There was no explicit detail, but I didn't need it. The timestamps matched one of her supposed girls' nights. When she came out of the bathroom that night, I confronted her like I said. She stuck to her story for a while. "Just friendship. You're reading too much into it. You're twisting things." But eventually, when I showed her the screenshots I'd saved, she broke down crying. "It only happened once," she said between sobs. "It was a mistake. I felt guilty right after." "Then why did you keep talking to him?" I asked. "Because," she paused, looking at me with those wide, tearful eyes that used to make me melt. "Because he listens. You don't anymore." I didn't know whether to laugh or scream. You cheat on me because I don't listen? It's not like that, she said, shaking her head. You've been so focused on work. I felt invisible. I stared at her. So instead of talking to me, you crawled into his bed? She didn't answer. That silence was louder than anything she could have said. After that, I told her to leave. She packed a small bag, still crying, still begging me to understand. We can fix this, she said. We've been through so much. No, I said quietly. You burned it all down. She left that night. The days that followed were weird. Empty. I kept expecting her to walk through the door like it was all some messed up dream. The apartment felt too big, too quiet. Her toothbrush still sat next to mine in the bathroom. Her mug, "Good morning, sunshine," was still in the sink. Little reminders of a life that no longer existed. She texted me a few times after she left. Apologies. Promises. The usual things people say when they're sorry they got caught, not sorry for what they did. I didn't respond at first. Then, about a week later, she showed up at my work. She looked exhausted, dark circles under her eyes, hands shaking. I can't stop thinking about you, she said. I ended things with him. Please, can we talk? We sat in her car in the parking lot. She cried the whole time. It didn't mean anything, she said. I was confused. I miss us. I still love you. And here's the part that I hate admitting. I almost believed her. I almost let her back in. Because when you love someone that deeply, your brain fights you. It starts negotiating with your heart. Maybe it really was just one mistake. Maybe she's telling the truth. Maybe people can change. But then I remembered her messages, the way she laughed with him, the pet names, the lies she told me without flinching. And I realized I couldn't trust her anymore. Not even a little. I told her that. She cried harder, said, I deserve that, and left without another word. It's been 3 months since then. She moved out officially, took her stuff, and blocked me on everything. Apparently, she quit her job too, probably to avoid him, or maybe to follow him. I don't know. I stopped checking. Some nights, I still wake up expecting to feel her next to me. I reach over, and there's just empty space. Sometimes I think about how we used to go for late-night walks, holding hands, laughing about stupid things. And I wonder how long she'd been lying while smiling at me like that. That's the part that hurts the most. Not the cheating itself, but how easy it was for her to pretend. I've learned a lot since then. About boundaries. About red flags. About how emotional cheating can be just as brutal as physical. People think betrayal is always loud, screaming, slamming doors, tears, but it's not. Sometimes it's quiet. It's a soft ding from a phone at midnight. A smile that isn't for you. A lie so small it barely makes a ripple, but over time, it drowns everything. I'm not angry anymore. Just tired. Writing this is the first time I've talked about it openly. I don't know if I'm looking for advice or closure. Maybe I just needed to say it somewhere. To admit that I caught the person I loved, most being someone I never really knew. Because when she looked me in the eyes and said, "It's just friendship," I realized that sometimes the cruelest lies are the ones that sound almost believable.